Alright, I'm overloaded with gear. There's the trout pond. See if we can pick up a quick limit here before work. I'm going to be discussing some tactics today that you can easily use to catch a lot of trout out of some of these stock trout ponds. This is the time of year in the Midwest where a lot of these ponds are stocked, and gives some of us people that don't normally get a chance to fish for trout a chance to fish for trout. And there's some pretty easy ways that you can go out and catch some, maybe take your family out and catch some. And I'm going to discuss that as I go along. I'm going to be trying to deploy all my usual strategies. I've got a fly rod, and I've got a live bait rod, and we're going to get that set up here. It's almost getting to be enough light out here that they should easily be able to get to see it. Just throwing around this KASTMASTER. Ooh, there's one. Got one. Oh, I lost it. Shoot. Alright. Just about to put the KASTMASTER down, and then one bit it. Oh, there's another one. 2 casts in a row. See if we can get a look at this one. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to see this one. Oh yeah. It's about a 10 to 12 inch rainbow right there. I might keep him. I don't know if I'm gonna clean him or not, but I got my bubbler and everything, so we gotta work quick. I'll try to keep him alive for now, and then we'll see what we're gonna do. All right. Don't want to beat you up, dude. Okay. For now, we'll keep him. I was just about ready to switch over to the fly rod. Just giving it little pops and pulses to make it really dance. They don't seem to want to hit just a straight retrieve. It doesn't have as much flash, as much action, so I'm kind of... Oh, there's one. Ah, dang it. He got me. Darn it. I'm getting bumped like crazy, but they must be short striking it. It's kind of hard to not get hooked by the KASTMASTER, but they're managing to pop off all the time. Okay, so they've seen the KASTMASTER a little bit. We'll come back to that. Let's go to the fly rod. Right, so we just got a black woolly bugger. It's pretty much typically what I throw for these stocked rainbows. Of course, in a lot of other situations too, but it's just a good general fly for these stocked rainbow trout. There's one. Didn't take long, did it? Second or third cast. This guy's gonna go in our cooler. I'm not planning to eat these, I don't think. Oh, this is a bass. Well, little baby largemouth. Maybe that's what's jumping around out there. I don't think so. Little baby largemouth. This woolly bugger's perfect because it's just cutting out a slow drop to it. I can just fish it almost like a jerk bait. Give it a couple jerks and just let it sit. Let them stare at it and then give it some more pops. In which case this wind is... Oop, I got one. There we go. My first one on the fly rod. Let's put him in our bucket. Try not to touch him more than I have to. Finally hooked one in the snoot, just barely. Just barely got him. There he is, a little 10-inch rainbow. Put him in our live well. Okay. There's one. This one feels heavy. Is it a trout? Yeah, it is. Feels heavy. Try not to lose him. He was way out there in the middle. Oh yeah. Not that big actually. Oop, there one smacked it. Shoot, man. As hard as they hit it, it's amazing that they just never get... I'm not even sure they're putting their mouth around it. I think they're just maybe bumping it with their nose or something. Ooh, there's one. Smacked that woolly bugger. They're starting to come alive a little bit now. Good seam. Okay, this is number 5. This is my limit. This is the biggest one that we've caught. This is my limit. That's a nicer one right there. Okay, I don't want to damage him. He is going to be 5th fish in my limit. Look at that. Really nice fat one. So we got our limit, and we've lost about at least another limit. Lost at least 5. I just came on a woolly bugger. This is one that I tied myself. Pretty easy tie for a beginning fly tyer like myself. Kind of cool to catch them on your own stuff. Oh, it's so much easier to cast now that we got some calmer conditions. Oh, there's one. Feels good. Starting to hit the fly now. The thing, you catch them in the right mood, and you can't hardly cast this woolly bugger without them eating it. So I was kind of surprised earlier when we weren't getting very many on the woolly bugger, but now we're starting to get there. Not a very good release, but he's no worse for wear. It is a little warmer than it has been, so it's a decent morning here to target these fish. It's like low 40s, but the wind's blowing, so it feels a little bit colder. I'm not that comfortable. I probably should have still worn more clothes. But so step 1, when I'm fishing for trout and I want to maximize my catches, I like to have a stationary live bait rod floating around with a bobber, and usually like a worm, or you could use POWERBAIT or whatever. And I'm gonna try and maximize my chance of actually catching the fish when they bite, because these trout are really hit and run biters. I'm gonna be using my hook setter that I talked about in a recent video, and that should help me catch a few more of these fish that bite. Sets the hook on them. And I'm just gonna put a night crawler on. I'm gonna get that set up first as the light starts to come up here. So we're gonna go night crawlers. Just picked these up, so they are fresh. A third or a half of a night crawler. I'm just gonna thread it on the hook. I always like to have that rod going, and then I can have an active rod. And I'll show you what I'm doing with my active rods here in a second. So set the hook setter. That little thing on the hook, just barely. Fish comes and bites it, it's gonna pop and hopefully lodge that hook in their mouth. I've noticed that these trout have been biting once the light gets on the water, so I'm probably a little bit early right now, but better early than late like I usually am. Okay, so it's nice to have that rod set up with the hook setter, so I can kind of just let it go. If the fish starts swimming around with my bobber, then I can go over there and deal with it. Oh, I got one on my bobber. My bobber's swimming around. Got a fish, hook setter fish. Didn't take long. I just got a big cobweb in my other rod. All right, a trout. That's a big one. That's a really big one. I don't normally get them this big. It's like a, I don't know, 13, 14 inch. All right, one on the board with the hook setter. That's a nice one. Didn't know they stocked them and they're that big. Most of the ones I've been catching have been cookie cutters about 2 inches smaller. You know, I'm able to leave this rod and usually it hooks them when I'm not watching it. That only took about 3 or 4 minutes to get that guy on the line. All right. Under the bobber I could put I got worms. That's kind of my go-to. I always try and put worms if I can. I've seen people put cheese. I've seen people put, a lot of people put POWERBAIT, wax worms, even a minnow under there. But for me, worms are the go-to. There goes my bobber. There goes my bobber swimming around. Is it? Do we have him? Yeah, there he goes. Got one. Got one. That's a little one. Not keeping that guy. That is a teeny tiny thing. My goodness. Might have too big a piece of crawler on there. It's kind of covering up the hook a little bit. Pretty constant action on that worm. He's right back. He's right back at it. Come on, get him, hook setter, get him. Get him. Got him. They're little. They're little guys. What is the deal? I'll keep him, I guess. There's number 2, much smaller than the first one. Let's put him in there and look at how much smaller he is than the other one. He's only about 10 inches. Alright, these bobber fish are not allowing me to get my fly rod set up. Especially as this light comes up, they're really starting to hit. Okay. It's a great place to bring kids. People who don't fish very often. Or whoever you want to bring out and have them catch some fish. So obviously you can get on them pretty fast. It's a simple technique, bobbering a worm or casting a spinner. Anybody can catch them, so it's a good place to bring kids. I really like to bring my kids out here. All right, let's see. Oh, there's another one on the worm. Worm action's constant. Got one. Pretty constant. They're so little though. My goodness. Teeny, teeny, teeny tinies. I don't think I'm gonna keep him as my 4th fish. So we're already almost at a limit, but gotta let him go. There's one. On the fly. It's a little bit bigger one. A bit better looking one than I've been catching too. There we go. Oh, there's one. Oh, I lost him. Shoot, I lost him right at the bank. Another one on the worm. I think that's our limit of 5 that we're going to keep. Still pretty small. 4. Another one. There we go, another one on the worm. All right, everybody, there it was. Just some very simple trout fishing techniques that you can use. So we caught our limit and then some. We probably caught around 10, I guess, in an hour, and got a ton of bites. Still trying out that hook setter. Caught a lot on that one. As we're transitioning from open water season to ice fishing season, a lot of these ponds are being stocked with trout. It's a really good option to get out there with your kids or just by yourself and wet some lines when otherwise a lot of the other fish aren't biting very well at this time of year. So anyway, I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching Backwards Angling. Bye-bye. All right, I got my trout. Thinking these could be good come ice fishing season. Just got to run across the road here. Hopefully this bubble box has kept him alive and in good shape. Oh yeah, here we go. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Whoa. And he's off. Got 3 more. Oh yeah, there we go. That's another one. See you later. They seem pretty lively. Gone. Last one, so we had 4. A couple others died. I gave them to that other guy. I didn't want to clean them right now. Oh, slippery little boogers. We'll try and catch those guys come ice fishing season.